Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This morning we're going to carry on with the topic of socialism for politics at Excel A-level. Alright, so here we go. Component 1 and socialism. So I managed to make quite a dent in this last time, but however we are going to be carrying on this morning. You guys can see that question on the left before I can. It's social equality reinforces collectivism. This is something we sort of addressed yesterday, however it could be addressed today because people forget things and therefore we can truly learn things from carrying this on. So, how does social equality reinforce collectivism? Obviously we do have it here on the right. And here's this idea in the mind map that social equality reinforces collectivism through cooperation and solidarity within an economy that can't be achieved elsewhere. Human beings are more likely to exist harmoniously in society and work together for the economic good if they share the same social and economic conditions. This because there won't be any sort of jealousy or seen as unfairness, etc. What is social democracy, however, also chiefly concerned with? Here, we have that here. It's concerned with the just and fair distribution of wealth in our society. Because socialism as a policy is treating everyone equally and therefore rests on the moral, as it states here, rather than masking marxist critique of capitalism. Good. Social democracy posits that democracy is compatible with capitalism and is a type of revolutionary socialism. What are the issues with social democracy in practice? So the last time we were talking about this, we were talking about the massive unemployment. We already talked previously about social democracy doing well during economic decline. This happens as there is greater unemployment and more demand for welfare services. There's also less tax, so therefore people can't use the welfare services. An example we give is Corbyn. Next, debates about social equality. We have that here. Can influence all aspects of society rather than the state. So this is over here, but we're not actually going to look at this, we're going to try and answer this flashcard ourselves. So the role of the state is to create a fair distribution of wealth and amongst people. Giddens argued for the top-down effect as being completely ineffective due to the changing world and the changing nature that we now live in, and therefore as a result of that, infrastructure and education rather than intervene in the economy of social engineering. Two basic critiques of collectivism. It suppresses human individuality. That's an easy one, yeah. State-managed capitalism was the last flashcard yesterday, and the quote was for Crossland. here we are. So Crossland basically believed that the government in a democratic society should use state powers to regulate capitalism and ensure social equality and justice. For Crossland, equality in society could be best achieved through economic growth, which would enable socialist government to have more money for social spending and welfare. With private ownership and less public, as you remember last time, if you watched the previous video, is because obviously if the government investing in more private ownership with rather less public ownership, therefore the government is not having to pay all this public ownership and instead the private ones, so they have more money for welfare. Social investment. This is a new flashcard. It's still based off Giddens' argument, so I'm probably going to add it on to Giddens' argument over here. Let's pick a red colour. We haven't used that in a while. We're now at 8 flashcards. There's only 20 flashcards per map, so keep attentive for that. Here we are, social investment state. Infrastructure. As we've already previously discussed, to provide employment opportunities. Now, why is this important to create these employment opportunities that Giddens is now sort of emphasizing this from a social investment status, almost like investing in infrastructure, and in return people had the responsibility to take jobs. Employment opportunities, and in return, as a result of this social investment state, people had responsibility to take jobs and made available rather than live on welfare. Jobs, because it's giving people this option, but it is very, very dependent on human nature part, made available. Rather than live on welfare benefits. Let's just highlight this word because it's a very important welfare in order to the social investment state, and that is because traditional welfare systems encourage a culture of dependency. And the tax revenues required discourage the investment and entrepreneurial effort needed to sustain a competitive economy. Now, why is this? I don't know if you know, but in the UK here, that as a result of tax revenues, we are taxed depending on our incomes. So, if you're much larger income, for example, I think it's above 70,000, 75,000, or maybe 50,000 now, you'll be taxed 45% on that. So his argue is as a result of the tax revenues, it discourages the investment and entrepreneurial effort. Needed to sustain a competitive economy. So as you can see here on my left, we have one of the key socialist beliefs, which is equality. Now let's briefly summarize this into my map. Where should we put this? Let's put this here. Equality. And why is this such a key socialist belief? Because social equality ensures fairness. Economic inequality is due to the structural inequalities in the capitalist society rather than innate differences in the ability among people. This is the first argument. In capitalist society, among people, as a result of this, socialists are going to reject what? Reject this belief of equality of opportunity. Now, why? In their view, a concept like this, Because in their view, such concept justifies the unequal treatment of what? Because in their view, a concept justifies what? Justifies unequal treatment. Unequal treatment of people on the grounds of innate ability. This argument reflects a view of human nature that emphasizes people are born with the potential to be great. Reflects a view of human nature that emphasizes people are born with the potential to be great. People are born with the potential to be not great, I meant equal. Let's just highlight that last one. Except equal is probably one else. I'm not going to try not to be so sophisticated for that. Now there is a counter argument for this as well, which we will get to in the next session, but can there be a counter argument for this? In a sense, like what is the counter argument for this? So the counter argument for this is other socialists maintain that since it is a part of human nature to have different abilities, inequality in the form of differential rewards is inevitable to some extent. So let's just summarize this real quick. So human nature, and this goes to different abilities. Inequality in the form of different rewards is inevitable to some extent. Inequal in diff forms inequality in different forms is inevitable in the form of different forms such as rewards. Human nature as a result of different abilities of humans, such as rewards, is inevitable. Basically what this is saying is, if you can believe this, that lots of people, by our human nature, we will have different things we are good at, it's our abilities and things we are bad at, and as a result of this different abilities, different forms such as different rewards can take place dependent on our abilities. Therefore, these types of socialists would endorse a what kind of economy? What kind of economy helps a egalitarian approach? Egalitarian approach to ensure that people are treated less unequally in terms of material rewards, which this will cause people treated less unequally in terms of material rewards and living conditions. For example, without this, why is this important? Say why it's important. Without this commitment to socialist egalitarianism, which is what we discussed, formal, political, and legal equality is compromised because on its own, formal, political, and legal equality is compromised because on its own the latter does nothing to tackle the structural inequalities in capitalism. Compromised as on its own the latter does nothing to tackle structural. The latter does nothing to tackle the structural inequalities inherent in capitalism to tackle. And there we have it for today. So today as a summary, we have covered a counter argument to why equality and social equality shows fairness or other socialists may believe. And we've also thought of another social thought, which was a social benefits from welfare, and that Giddens social investment status, he calls it, from investing in infrastructure. Here is the entire mind map. The screenshots are always down in the description, and let's talk about this more in the next video. Thank you very much.